Thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, and thank you for subscribing and being part of this weather community. This is why I do it. The comments throughout the day let us know what's going on where you are or what's not going on. Now, we're thinking of you in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and our islands of Grenada as this will take a direct hit. Yesterday, I was talking about in the video, these don't move in a straight line, especially bigger systems. It's not a straight line. They wobble a little bit, and we would see where the wobbles would go. Some of us are going to do better than expected. Some of us, though, worse, and the worst end of this is going to be St. Vincent, the Grenadines, and Grenada. A little wobble to the south. That's helping us out. Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, even Barbados. Been up all night with you, and we haven't had a whole lot of rain, but the core of this is moving right toward Grenada, St. Vincent, the Grenadines, and stronger tropical storm conditions now for Tobago since it took a little wobble to the south. So here it is. This is powerful Hurricane Beryl. I want to get into what it's doing now, what it will do throughout the day, and what it's going to do next as it works its way across the Caribbean, watching Jamaica, eventually Belize and the Yucatan, and all islands matter, whether we have a few people or a little people. I'm watching this for everyone, so I want to go island by island and cover this for you as we move forward. But now, I do want to touch on this too. The Bay of Campeche. Here's Mexico. This briefly formed overnight. This was Tropical Storm Chris. We've been tracking this together for about a week. It did spin up. That's going to bring some heavier rain into Mexico. So I'll monitor that as we go throughout the day. I'll get to those rain totals in a moment. But there is powerful Hurricane Beryl. That is going to continue to work into the Caribbean today. Back behind it, this disturbance is not better organized. This is the one that still may try to become a tropical storm on the heels right behind Beryl. I'm not seeing anything too terribly strong. And another strong tropical wave coming off the coast of Africa, which is normal. Now, here's the latest information. There are tropical storm watches up now for, or rather, these are tropical storm watches up for Haiti and the Dominican Republic. The core of it is going to stay to the south of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. We'll see some rain moving in, and this will stay south of Puerto Rico. Again, this will stay south of Puerto Rico, but Jamaica, this will be moving in by the time we get into Wednesday, or at least close to us. I'm hoping the core stays just to the south. So I'll get into Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, Yucatan, and Belize as we move forward. But let me get to what's going on now. This is the immediate concern. St. Vincent, the Grenadines, Grenada, these brighter colors, that is the core of this. The core is the middle, around the eye wall. That's where the worst weather is. So Barbados, it's going to be moving away. We've done better. Tobago, though, some tropical storm conditions. This is late morning, and then we have that direct hit late morning through early afternoon, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. Again, that's where most of this is. If you're not there, I'm thankful for that, but I am thinking of our friends in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. This is 5 o'clock. 5 p.m. We're still going to have either hurricane or tropical storm conditions, but then it starts to work away. By the time we hit 8 o'clock, it starts to move away. And you can see the core of the winds, not as much Martinique to the north. I'll go island by island in a moment, but there are the hurricane winds right moving into St. Vincent, the Grenadines now down through. Here's Grenada in our islands of Grenada. And you can see the core of this moves in. Winds 145 kilometers an hour. That's about 90 miles per hour. There will be some higher gusts. There's the core of it staying to the north of Trinidad and Tobago, although we'll have the gusty winds, especially in Tobago today. This is 2 o'clock. Hurricane conditions. St. Vincent, the Grenadines, and Grenada. St. Lucia, we're on the edge of it. We're going to know there's a big system nearby, right? But most of it stays to the south. We will have tropical storm conditions. I'll touch on that in a moment. And then by 8 o'clock on the backside, still gusty winds, but that's when things start to move away and start to work across the Caribbean. So let me get into the bigger picture and what's also going to happen next. So this is later today. You see again, here is Beryl. This is what's left of Chris. Tropical storm, very brief one, bringing some of the rain back toward Mexico. Here's Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Haiti, and the DR. This is tomorrow. As we work our way into tomorrow afternoon, this is 2 o'clock. This is south of Puerto Rico. Some rain may break free and move in, and we'll see some heavier rain try to work into parts of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, but the middle of this system will be to the south. I know some other channels like to make it look like every storm's going to hit everyone, but that is not the case. So I'd like to also mention where it's not going. Now, as we get toward Wednesday, though, this system starts to work into Jamaica, which we need to take those preparations because sometimes it looks like it's going to be a direct hit of a hurricane. Other times it looks like it would be just to the south, but would still give us tropical storm conditions. So regardless, there's going to be some sort of impacts in Jamaica, and I'm going to spell that out in a moment. And then the Cayman Islands. Now the Cayman Islands, the center of this, the core of it will be south. But we are going to see some rain breaking free and kind of moving in. So I'm going to be monitoring this for the Cayman Islands. This would be by Thursday. And then you see that second system that's going to work in Wednesday into Thursday in the Eastern Caribbean. That may or may not become a tropical storm, but that will either way increase our rain. This is Thursday afternoon. And you can see here's Belize and here's Mexico. Late term, there's been a little bit more of a shift to the south. That would bring either tropical storm or hurricane conditions to parts of Belize, mainly on the north side and then up toward Mexico. This is by Friday. And Friday, we'll watch whatever's kind of left of that system back toward the Eastern Caribbean. Now, there's going to be some weakening in here in the Western Caribbean. That's because of the wind shear. We're going to see some wind shear out of the wind shear is good. The thunderstorms with these hurricanes come across. The wind shear comes in the opposite direction and just knocks it across. So I'm hoping for a little more weakening. So let me break down the Northern Caribbean here. Here are the Cayman Islands. Here's Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic. There are the winds in kilometers per hour and miles per hour to give you both of the scales. This is Tuesday. So Puerto Rico, this is to the south. Haiti and the DR, we're going to get brushed by the tropical storm conditions. I mentioned over toward Jacmel, even Boston Blue, we could see some of the gustier winds moving in. Watching out for the rain threat in Haiti and the DR. But there's the center of this, the core of it, the red and yellow shading popping up. Those would be the hurricane conditions. So Jamaica, by Wednesday morning, we'll start to get some tropical storm conditions moving in to our eastern zone. Now, I'm not sure yet. I tell you what I know and what I don't know. There's a lot of variables with the weather, as you well know. I'm not sure if this will be a direct hit or just to the south, but either way, even if the core is just to the south, you see it here, that would keep the hurricane conditions so close by, but just offshore, and that would give us tropical storm conditions on Wednesday. So it's either going to be tropical storm or hurricane conditions. Either way, we're getting something in Jamaica. Then the system will be moving in throughout the day on Wednesday and Wednesday night. And then we'll see tropical storm or hurricane conditions near the Cayman Islands. The worst weather would be just to the south of our big island, but you can see again some gustier winds that will be moving in the Cayman Islands. Cayman Islands, yes, gustier winds. We'll see a bit of a surge, higher seas, but I'm cautiously optimistic. This is late on Thursday, but I'm going to be watching for changes. We know this is down the road. There's going to be changes. So we're still, everything I talked about yesterday on track. Haiti and the DR, we're in monitor mode. Yes, some tropical storm conditions are possible. My biggest concern will be flooding with some of the river crossings in Haiti and the DR. As we work our way back toward Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, we are in action mode because of the kind of variability with this, the fact we could get some changes. But Jamaica, I want to stress, we're going to get something either way. There are tropical storm conditions or hurricane conditions, so we're taking that action to be safe. And again, thinking of others too that may have not gone through this. So you guys are also kind, helping others through these systems. Cayman Islands, we're taking the preps because we don't have many. If things change, we don't have much time. We're talking about on Wednesday into Thursday where we could get tropical storm or hurricane conditions close by. So we need to be safe. I mean, that just makes sense. The window of time's closing. Yes, that would be great if this stays to the south of the Cayman Islands, but we need to take some of the preps now. Again, that's why we do this together. We've got to make some of those preps. Now, I want to go more to the west here. Here's Mexico. Here's Belize. And this is the Yucatan of Mexico, down through Belize. We're taking those hurricane preps. And I want to mention my friends in some of the islands, there's a lot of islands, but for example, as you get toward Honduras, you get toward Roatan, Providencia, San Andres, we do need to take those preps because, again, we're smaller islands. We don't have as much time. So we're taking those preparations. We're using our common sense, but we are in action mode. Belize, we're thinking about, hey, what could happen if a tropical storm moves in late Thursday into Friday? So that's what you need. If tropical storm may move in later this week, what do I need to start doing? Same thing over toward the Yucatan of Mexico. And it could be a hurricane too. Not quite sure on the intensity. I'll show you why in a second. Now, the second system back behind this is that little area I showed you in the Atlantic. This may move in. If it does, it looks like at worst it would be tropical storm conditions. It's going to increase our chance of rain. Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines again, and especially north. So something I'm monitoring. If anything flares up big on that, I'll let you know. But I'm watching everyone and watching that chance of rain even increasing up toward Antigua and Barbuda later this week. So the model's in good agreement in the short term. A little bit more west-northwest as a whole. That's kind of that turn we are expecting. The models, this is a tricky map. My friends in Jamaica, and you can help others in Jamaica with this. You see all these lines, you're like, hey, this is going to miss us. But look what's happening over toward Grenada right now. It's not a little, these storms are not small. They're very large systems. So even if the center is offshore, which I'm hoping it is, and that's what I'm leaning to now, they're bigger systems. So that would bring us tropical storm conditions. If a center tracks just to the south, makes sense. We're going to have some gustier winds. Center should be to the south of the Cayman Islands, but you see things shifting back toward Belize. That would put it closer to Honduras as well. So anywhere in here, we're taking some of those preps, coastal Honduras, Belize, back toward the Yucatan and Mexico. Now, this is those crazy lines again, but this is going out in time. This is a day out in time, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. Very weird graph, I know. This is showing how it's kind of that Category 3 hurricane and then gradual weakening. Really has only one way to go. It's so powerful at this point. Gradual weakening. So as we get back to about 3 days from now, still, it looks like most of the indications are it will become a hurricane. Why would there be gradual weakening? Well, that's some of the wind shear that I was talking about. So let's get into that here. This is the European model. You can see the direct hit for St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada today. Here's Cuba. Here's Jamaica. Here's what's left of Chris, bringing that rain over toward Mexico. Here's Belize right now. Now, there are a couple fronts to the north. Those fronts sometimes tug on these systems a little bit. They draw them a little bit more to the north. And that's what we're seeing. We're not going to see a huge tug. That's what I'm saying. Puerto Rico, this is to the south. High anxiety time, so I'd like to let you know where it's also not going. Now, this is as we work our way out in time. Tomorrow, core of the system is to the south here, just to the south of the DR and Haiti. But on our southern coast, and right where, I mean, we hit the high terrain so quickly, we're going to see the potential of flooding with some of that rain moving in. There's that front moving away, kind of tugging a little bit to the north. We've got another front back here. High pressure, though, generally dominant in the southeast U.S., keeping this action closer or in the Caribbean. You see those areas of high pressure. Now, Jamaica, the European model keeps this as a hurricane very close by, scraping by just to the south of us. And as I was talking about, that would give us those tropical storm conditions. European model seeing this as well as the American model and almost all of the models, at least tropical storm conditions for Jamaica. And there's that second area. So Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda on Wednesday, St. Kitts and Nevis, we may get a bump up in rain. That could be some good news because northeastern Caribbean, we've been so dry. Now, a couple fronts here, but high pressure still the dominant area, keeping these systems in the Caribbean. That's why we're seeing that westerly and west-northwesterly motion with these. So this is on Wednesday. And let's go out in time here. We'll go from Wednesday into Thursday. Here's Jamaica, Cayman Islands. The worst would be to the south, but we're smaller islands as a whole, so we're taking those preps in case, because if things change, we don't have a lot of time. And then a tropical storm or hurricane very close to, you see, here's Honduras, here's Belize, here's the Yucatan, and the European model has a strong tropical storm working its way, or even a hurricane, into the Yucatan over toward Belize once we hit Friday. So you could see that right there, little front up to the north, but generally that's staying there, high pressure building in back to the east. So again, we're going to see this system, a long haul system, marching across the Caribbean. Water temperature is super warm. I was talking about yesterday the hot pockets, the warm, deep water. We have that in place. And just to give you a feel, across the Caribbean, we're talking about 29 degrees Celsius, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. These water temperatures, we're now into July, but they're acting more like what we would have next month, a little bit ahead of schedule. It's been so warm in the water. We didn't cool off as much this past winter, and that's what we were tracking together this winter. Now, this map, super crazy. This is on Wednesday. Here's Jamaica. Here's our system here. There's a little L here. This is our system here. You see this kind of yellow shading in here and then orange shading swinging by Cuba. That's the wind shear that is good. I'm hoping the wind shear is a little bit more to help decrease some of the strength, but it's a tricky system. You may hear, hey, this is starting to lose its steam. Well, it's still going to be a tropical storm or hurricane as it moves through the Caribbean. So we need to be very careful because this is really going to impact some of us. Now, in the short term, St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada, that's where most of the rain is today with those very high totals. I'll go island by island in a second. But you see how it's such a sharp divide in these wobbles that have helped us out in Dominica, Martinique, even Barbados. The wobble last night to the south has helped us out in Barbados, no doubt. We do not wish this on anyone, but we look at some good news. But the wobble south is going to bring those tropical storm conditions to Tobago throughout the day. And you see the plume of moisture well south of Puerto Rico. But we are going to see some of the rain trying to break free Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico the next 2 days. And look at Jamaica. I mentioned the tropical storm conditions. We're not only talking winds, we're going to see the increased chance of rain and flooding by the time we hit Wednesday. And here's that core of some of the rain. You see right here in Mexico, always looking at my friends in Mexico, we so need it rain desperately for months and months, and now we're getting it almost too much. High risk of flooding in parts of Mexico today near the Bay of Campeche as this moves in. So let's go, I want to go island by island now. Here's Dominica. Simply put, the worst weather's to the south in Dominica. So that is some good news. We may get some squalls breaking free, some gusty winds at times, but clearly the worst weather is to the south. Martinique, same thing. Worst weather is to the south. We'll get some gusty winds, some tropical storm gust at times, right? But the worst weather stays to the south. Keep me posted in the comments. Let's swing towards St. Lucia. We are so on the borderline. We're thinking of our friends just to the south, the core of this. The worst part is going to be south of St. Lucia. What we were talking about yesterday could be a little worse, could be a little bit better. This is a little bit better, but still some of the gusty winds, tropical storm conditions at times as we go throughout the day. Barbados, the system is now moving away. The wobble to the south helped yesterday. Didn't even have a lot of rain overnight. We did. There's so many preparations, which was so good. Can't take any chances. So smart in Barbados, but it will start to work away. Still the chance of some tropical storm conditions for today. Now we get here, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This is where the worst weather is. Winds could be as high as, and this is very close to what we were talking about yesterday, 180 kilometers an hour, 110 miles per hour for some of our islands. That is going to lead to, of course, power loss. A lot of the grids have shut down. Power systems have already shut down ahead of this. Water systems as well. Structures are going to be damaged in parts of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Not all the structures, but we are going to take on damage. We're going to take on some damage in Grenada too, especially to the northern islands. Winds 180 kilometers an hour or 110 miles per hour. Now there's going to be rain that could lead to some flooding, but at least this system is moving. I mentioned the forward speed it's not slow, so that is good news. Let's get this in and get this out. Now Trinidad, we're going to do okay. Tobago, that's where we're going to see some tropical storm conditions. We could have some gusts, 50, 60 miles per hour, 80 to 95 kilometers an hour today, giving us some rain. The worst of it does stay to the north and then eventually moving away. But Tobago, the wobble to the south that has helped us out in Barbados, will bring us some of those tropical storm conditions. Now, here's Jamaica. This is on Wednesday. On Wednesday, this is my initial call for what's going to happen and why we need to take those preps. It's going to be tricky. We are islands and all that stuff, so just a small distance makes a big difference, like we're seeing now with St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada. On Wednesday, winds of 95 kilometers an hour or 60 miles per hour. Solid tropical storm conditions, right? So 60 mile per hour winds at times on Wednesday in Jamaica. 100 millimeters of rain or about 4 inches of rain. It could be higher than that though. That'll be a concern. But as of now, I have the center of this being just to the south. We'll see how that changes when I join you again. But we're making the preparations because we're smart. May as well definitely need to go ahead and do that. So let's get a look at what we got going on here. Let me break down some forecast here and switch over. Let me jump here. I'm going to scoot back a little bit just to give you a heads up here. Here's Jamaica. The next couple days, we're taking some of those preps. Wednesday, that's the day we're watching. Let's jump over here. Cayman Islands, we're watching Wednesday into Thursday. Looks like most of the weather will be to the south, but as you know, especially our mariners, boaters, we can't take many chances. So we're doing what we need to do to be smart. Trinidad and Tobago, worst weather Tobago for today. And then we'll watch out for that surge of moisture, that second system trying to work into the eastern Caribbean. Barbados, Beryl is moving away. Wednesday, though, we'll see that rain and some gustier winds picking up. We'll see if that area tries to turn into a tropical storm. Same thing in St. Lucia. Worst weather just to the south in St. Lucia. Grenada, we've covered this. Grenada, St. Vincent and The Grenadines, that's where Beryl has decided to go. That's where Beryl is working in. Martinique, we could see some of those squalls. Squalls are some of the rain bands kind of filtering in throughout the day. Same thing in Dominica. That at times could give us some tropical storm conditions. Same thing in Guadeloupe. We may see some of that rain from Beryl trying to break free. Antigua and Barbuda, by the middle of the week, the rain chance will bump up, right? Northeastern Caribbean, middle of the week, rain chance will start to get higher. Same thing, St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat. Rain chance a little higher later in the week, Anguilla and St. Bart's. And you see on Wednesday up to a 50% chance, St. Martin, Saba, and Statia. Rain chance, Puerto Rico, about a 60% chance tomorrow. As this passes to the south, it'll enhance that easterly flow, bump up the rain chance, but Beryl itself, the big part of it, stays to the south of Puerto Rico, and it stays to the south of my friends in the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. I know one map I didn't get to was the wave heights, but what I showed you yesterday does hold. The wave height map does hold yesterday. Bermuda, rain chance about 40%, or Bahamas rather, about 40%, scattered about for us in the Bahamas. All of this action staying to the south. Turks and Caicos, about a 20% chance. You see as we hit Tuesday, a 70% chance of rain and storms across the DR, favoring our southern zones in Haiti on Tuesday. So that is tomorrow, brushing by with some tropical storm conditions. Then we swing over here in Belize. We're making the preparations for the potential of a tropical storm or hurricane moving in later this week. But in the meantime, we do have some rain to speak of. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, most of this has been missing us. About a 20 to 30, even upwards of a 50% chance of rain by the time we get into the middle of the week. Little bump up in the rain chance midweek. Guyana, still a 60% chance, still some pockets of flooding. Suriname, a 60% chance of some of the rain. And as we work our way toward Cuba, all of this stays to the south. The big tropical weather to the south, scattered rain and storms, 50% chance in Cuba, 60% chance Costa Rica and Panama, and about a 50% chance across Nicaragua. Keep an eye on what happens with Beryl. Honduras, all eyes, of course, are on Beryl to see how close it gets, to see how strong it tries to stay. We'll watch out for that weakening trend. Guatemala, pockets of some rain and storms around. Mexico City, with what's left of Chris working in that brief tropical storm, we're going to watch out for some flooding, not just today, but over the next couple days in the Yucatan of Mexico. All eyes on Beryl to see how that hangs together and works across the Caribbean. Colombia, we have about a 40% chance of scattered storms. Northern Venezuela, 40% chance. And now Bermuda, tomorrow and Wednesday, about a 50% chance. So again, my friends, in Grenada, St. Vincent and The Grenadines, we are locked down all day for sure. All of us are thinking of you. We're going to be watching to the west near Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Belize, Mexico, Honduras, and then this little second area in the Atlantic. I am watching that. I'll be watching that to see how that tries to spin up. But there's going to be a lot of action this year, already is, so we'll just track it storm by storm. And thank you for doing your part in just spreading the word about this information. So I'll do my best to get to the comments throughout the day. I know I skipped over that map on the wave heights, but it is very comparable to almost exactly what I was showing you yesterday. So that is the good news. Forecast as a whole has been on track. That gives us time to prepare for things. So thank you for being part of this weather community, and I hope you have a good and very safe rest of your day.